Hello, friends. So I thought I'd just put in my tuppence on the Owen Farrell controversy. Um, well, uh, quite a few gentlemen have been getting on their high horse about it recently. Notably, Owen's dad, Andy, uh, Sir Clive Woodward, and I think Steve Borthwick, all of the England persuasion. Um, But this is so much more important than just one team or one player. And it's a huge issue. It's one which involves bringing the game into disrepute. It involves the integrity of the game and probably the survival of the game in the longer term. So, um, what has the World Rugby supposedly been trying to do these past few years, and especially recently? They've been very hard on high tackles, where the head hits head on head, as they say. And Japan has certainly experienced this recently with two players, Michael Leach and Peter Lapis-Labuskachny, both suffering being punished is the word, I think, for high tackles, not suffering. I mean, the tackles were their tackles were head high, so that was it really. There's really no argument. But the trouble is, you then get a case like Farrell, and Farrell is frankly a repeat offender. You can find many examples on YouTube of where he's done high tackles before, and he's been to tackle school. He still hasn't got the message, and this is the problem that okay, he was properly dealt with when it happened in the England-Wales game. His high tackle on Tane Basham, and he was sent off, got his red card. And then three Australians sitting well away from the action, who don't seem to have got the memo, decided that it wasn't a dangerous tackle and that therefore it wasn't worthy of a red, and reversed the decision, which is incredible. You have mothers watching rugby. You have people who are quite against rugby in the first place. People who would like nothing better than to have rugby abolished as a team sport. You have enemies. Rugby has enemies, and so the only way that rugby can properly survive is by cleaning up its own act. And if you look at the videos on YouTube of Farrell's past offences, where he's done several, well, I don't know how many, I wouldn't like to say, but a lot of high tackles for which he has been banned before, and he still hasn't got the message. So, you can't do this. You can't have double standards where the Japanese players are punished, and then the England player is. Japan is going to play England quite soon in the World Cup. Is Farrell going to appear in that game? Of course he shouldn't. But there we are. He probably will. And this is where rugby is only making a half-hearted attempt to clean up its act. Half-hearted is a generous way to put it, actually. And then you have people like Sir Clive Woodward and Andy Farrell and Steve Borthwick to some extent, all sort of supporting the player. But he can't be supported for this, for what he's done. He has to take his punishment. And it's, you can't just give up on somebody because they keep doing the same offence. You can't just say, oh, well, we tried it before and it didn't work. That won't do. It just won't do. Okay. So I'm deeply concerned about the future of rugby. It's a game I love to watch. I don't love to watch these head-high tackles. Tackle low, tackle hard, tackle early. No, not early, sorry. tackle often. That was the one. Beg your pardon. But the first one is tackle low, right? I don't even think that in the current climate that double tackles should be allowed, where one player goes low and the other goes high. I mean, you can't go high, and anything above the sternum, as far as I'm concerned, is high. So let's keep the tackles low, and let's keep it consistent across the board, because otherwise rugby is just going to be laughed out of court, and mothers watching will say, no, I'm not having my son playing that game, it's far too dangerous. And they'd be right to say that, actually. I'm afraid. So let's get it sorted out. World Rugby needs to sort it out. I thought they were being very hard on high tackles, and then we have this Farrell nonsense, whereby he's apparently his continuing in the England team is more important than sorting out the Augean stables. That means filthy stables of rugby. So all very disappointing. What a mess. But I'm afraid controversy in rugby in the recent years has been frequent bedfellows. So I don't know what will happen. But what we need is firmer, tougher, and clearer leadership from World Rugby, and letting the guys in Australia know as well what's acceptable and what isn't. Okay. And it's not just Japan. There's also a Samoan who's been banned for a high tackle recently. It has to be consistent. It has to be across the board. Otherwise, you can say goodbye to the revenue, which is what a lot of the people at the top of rugby seem to care about anyway. So the sport itself is threatened by this poor management. So sort it out, guys. Thank you very much.